Find us on social media. Everyone, wherever you are. So, you know where to find us. Harriet Agwe is the show anchor. I'm sitting in here for her for a couple of days down. Yes, don't worry. She'll be here. She's keeping an eye on the program. At CTV Harriet, I'm at B. Boson. Follow the Big Brother, Channels Television, at Channels TV. Very simple, easy to remember. And at B's Morning, if you want to make it program specific. Okay, let's get back to the top of the table. Petrol retailers are warning that pump price of petrol could go up if current foreign exchange scarcity in Nigeria is not currently addressed. The debt office is seeking lead managers and financial advisors to arrange $1 billion in the first tranche of $4.5 billion global debt capital market offerings Nigeria is taking through the marketplace through to the year 2018. And today is the first day of the two-day SEC State Quarter Capital Market Committee meeting. That is taking place. It's already started here in Lagos. We'll get some feedback from that meeting and all the presentations and the direction that the Nigeria's capital market will be taking. Meantime, the parliament or the legislators in Ghana, Nigeria's second largest neighbor in terms of economic size, has approved the new petroleum industry bill. It took them just less than 3 years to go over it and now being passed into law. Ghana's Energy and Petroleum Minister says the law should be used, but the operators should not break it. Ghana is looking to expand its $20 billion oil industry. Okay, so let's come back and talk about the 7 big oil retailers on our markets on Monday. A little bit sluggish for the oil and gas sector. That sector fell yesterday alongside the banking sector, 1.23% to the south. But take a look at the numbers as we bring them on. Corn oil wasn't changed, 23.96. 40 oil, 166.82. That's where we started off on. That's where we finished off on Friday. Yes, and then mobile, 178.60. The end of the market. MRS was a red shoot, 40.60, shaving off about 5% after those aggressive gains in the last 2 weeks by MRS after reporting a very satisfactory earnings per share, 354 kobo, 3.54 as earnings per share for the second quarter of 2016. That's significantly higher than 15 kobo that company reported in the first quarter of 2016. Then you find Owando shaving off another 3.06%. Owando finished off 570. Owando started the week around 588. Seplat was a green shoe, 250, up 3.05%. And Total 229.95 on the counter, off track 4.99%. About 500,000 shares traded on that stock. So in summary, 0.5%, thereabout, 0.4. Specifically was where the index, oil and gas index finished off. Year to date, that's 5%. That's tracking the broader market, 4.35%. Price to earnings and the dividend yield, you can see those two ratios at the bottom of the page. We'll talk more about Nigeria's oil and gas industry and the state of the NNPC, the State Oil Corporation, reporting a negative oil deficit of about 26 billion for the period ended June. That report came yesterday. Quite a bit of concerns on the Twitter and on social media how the NNPC that reported a surplus of about 300 million in the month of May suddenly turned negative. But we'll get about. Let's talk about rice, sugar, and things that we consume from breakfast to lunch and dinner. So rice is a staple. And where did I have a last one? Okay. Let's talk to her. She's here from Financial Derivatives. She's a senior investment officer. Good morning. Well, how did you eat rice?
Good morning, Borson.
In the last 24 hours. We all ate rice yesterday. Some folks have had it this morning.
Yeah.
So that is a commodity, and it's now about 20,000 naira per bag. That's the bad news, folks. Well, I'm not sure anyone is new to this. In Lagos, for example, almost 20,000. If I got to count 20,000 to buy just one single 50 kg bag of rice, that is pretty bad news.
Yeah, it is. The reason why was in the price the price of a bag of rice increasing is because the restrictions at the land borders are tighter, and the reason why is because the comptroller said importation.
The customs are tightening the borders.
They're tightening the borders, and they said that around the land borders, what we have is 90% of the rice being imported are actually expired rice. So what they're trying to do is tighten the borders and ensure that if rice is coming into the country, it's only coming. Yes, it's only coming.
I need to go back home.
Yes,
and quickly
he
check
actually
the bag.
did say 90%.
As I have a bag at home, gotta check the date again.
Check the date again, and then he said that what they're trying to do is make sure that any rice coming into the country is coming in through the seaports, so that way they have the equipment to check if this rice is actually expired, if it's expired or if it's not, and that way they are able to protect the interest of the consumers in the market.
Are we not growing rice in Bayelsa, in the north, somewhere in the middle? Are we not?
Yes, we are growing rice, but the thing is, what you see in the commodities market is that most consumers have a preference for imported rice, and I believe what the government is trying to do is trying to adopt protectionism policies to ensure that there's an increased production here and more consumers shift towards locally produced rice. At the end of the day, the point is to when the preferable is not available, the available becomes the preferable.
When the ordinary folks on the street buy rice, I'm not sure he knows if it's imported or it's local.
No, but you can tell from the taste.
Yeah, because they do retail.
Yes, you can tell from the taste.
Which one tastes better?
Well, the imported rice does taste better. But at the end of the day,
maybe we should just
take
this conversation out, because we'll just end this conversation, because I'm not sure many Nigerians will want to hear that foreign rice are tastier than local rice.
Well, it's the truth, but the thing is, at the end of the day, it's all about quality. If the Nigerian farmers are able to improve quality by using, the quality seeds and as well as using fertilizers...
Haven't we grown rice in this climate for generations?
We have, but what we have in the country is that our population is increasing at an exponential rate, and for that reason, our production domestically is not able to meet our demand, and that's why we've had to import rice into the country. And so for that reason, production is, if you're looking at demand is over a couple of millions above what is being produced in the country. And that's why we had to shift towards importing rice into the country.
Let's talk about...
Yes,
it's really sad. I just had to heave. Let's talk about sugar. That looks like something that we can still deal with. But I'm not very comfortable with a 50 kg at 14,500 across board.
Yeah, but if you look at the price of sugar,